Late last night, before I headed to Noddyland, I saw a little video pop up on my feed from Kim Millman, of all people. Kim is a Dutch photographer, particularly well known for his F1 photography, and he was running with this story broken by a Dutch national journal called The Telegraph that Yuki had finally got the Red Bull seat. I've been banging the Yuki drum for years now, so it was quite exciting to think that maybe it's actually going to happen. And of course there had been rumours after the weekend's race, but it was a pretty weird place to get news from, so I kind of shrugged it off, went to bed. As I go about my morning, I realise more and more credible sources have picked up on this story. And maybe more crucially, Red Bull haven't issued any response, no denial, which I guess maybe confirms that it's true. Christian Horner had that dumb, old school corporate idea that competition and pressure bring out the best in people. So he pitted not just one or two drivers against each other, but four of his own drivers, Liam, Danny, Checo and Yuki, all against each other, and it totally blew up in his face. But despite Yuki's outbursts at the beginning of last year, he's the only driver that's had any kind of emergence out of that. But why is the decision being made now? And I think it's something that's being overlooked a little bit in what I've seen so far, is that this decision wasn't made within the Red Bull racing team. This was made at the Red Bull corporate offices. I'm not sure why that would happen, other than maybe a deteriorating lack of faith in Christian Horner's decision making and personnel management, or maybe there's other things at play, maybe sponsorships involved, maybe there's things that will come to light later on in the year. Should the decision have been made? I mean, there were pretty bad performances from Lawson, slowest driver on the grid more or less, 0 points, 2 races. I mean, all sorts of other things going on, but it's below the standard you expect of a Red Bull driver. And Red Bull just have that luxurious position of having a sister team and having an experienced driver sitting there that's been overlooked, and they can make an easy switch. It's maybe not a bad thing for Liam. He gets to go to what might prove to be a better car, and for this year at least, a less pressure situation, not so much scrutiny, and he can genuinely learn in the same way Yuki has. So what's the Yuki success story? He arrived into F1 fairly young and experienced lad at a time when the cars were getting bigger, heavier, wider, and not every driver adapted to that very well. Yuki certainly didn't during his rookie season, but he made changes. He moved from the UK to Maranello. He wanted to be closer to Franz Tost in the factory. He changed his eating, changed his training, and became a much more prepared driver. In his sophomore year, he refined his driving a bit. Still a little rough around the edges, but he did much better. There was an upward curve there. And then coming into his third year, he really took to Gasly as a mentor and started putting in really, really good performances on a regular basis. That of course leads to his season last year, where we all now think of him as a really good driver and a regular point scorer. But not only has he done those things, he's overcome constant undermining. He was the underdog to Nick De Vries, he was the underdog to Danny Rick, he's been the underdog to Liam, yet he's proven to be the more consistent and speedy driver than all of them. Has to be said that he's also overcome several different iterations of that team as that team develops itself, including changes in team principle. And through it all, Yuki's continued to adapt. He's no longer the ramshackle, aggressive driver that came into the sport. He's incredibly smooth and, dare I say it, finesse driver. He's still a late breaker, and that might or might not bode well in the new Red Bull, but the aggressive nose on it and the aggressive way that it needs to be handled in corners, that might suit Yuki just fine. But it's not what we do wrong or how we get wronged, it's how we respond to it. And Liam needs to take this humbling and grow from it. Red Bull need to improve their personnel decision making, and it looks like that might be on the card with the corporate office. And as for Yuki, I think he won that seat. I think he deserves it. And I'm really excited to see him driving in the car and see what he does with it.